Hi everyone, my name is Steph, this is the Novelty Corner and welcome back to my channel and welcome to my kids review title wrap up for the month. Now you might be going, Steph, you have an entire kids channel talking about these books, why are you doing a separate kids video over here? Well, that's because I'm trying to make my wrap ups, my monthly wrap ups, a lot easier, and I have some plans for this moving forward. Because these books are sent to me for review and I receive quite a few kids titles, and you know, that's a lot of faith that publishers put in me. I do want to review them on this channel as well, because this is where I started reviewing kids titles. This is where I built my platform before moving it over to Kidlit Joy. So filming reviews on both channels is just a no-brainer. So if you are not interested or here for the kids content, you can feel free to skip. I will be doing individual reviews for all of these books over on Kidlit Joy. They won't have a joint video like this one. This is just going to be kind of like a speed wrap up of everything that I read this month. If you want more specifics about each individual book, go and check out those individual reviews over the next couple of weeks. Here is my pile. It's not an insignificant pile. We are going to start with books that were sent to me by Alan and Unwin, who is a publisher that I've worked with quite a lot, and I am really, really grateful for our partnership because they have some truly incredible kids books. This month they sent me a few. The first book I'm going to talk about is My Cousins, My World by Sharara Atai and Michelle Pereira, which celebrates the unbreakable bonds of cousins and how cousins, despite sometimes being different and coming from different cultural backgrounds, are just that, they're family. They love each other, they get to know each other across continents, they're able to connect through videos, they're able to connect in person, and it's just a really, really gorgeous story about how particularly kids do really form wonderful bonds with the family members of similar age groups. And as the oldest of about 18 grandkids on one side of the family, I can attest to that. I may not necessarily be close to every single one of my cousins, but I'm definitely close to quite a few of them. And when I was reading this book, it just reminded me of those relationships. So it's a really lovely picture book, beautifully illustrated, and I think really representative of our current day family makeups. Then there is Yildaan, Our Dreaming Track. This one has been written by Uncle Bud Marshall and with Yildaan, with artwork by Hannah Smith and Elaine Carmody. This book is gorgeous because it's not only told through artwork but also photographs. So you have photographs as well. And it's Uncle Bud Marshall welcoming us to his country in Nambucca Heads. He's telling the story of the country, of the elders who live there. It's just a really beautiful book. So a wonderful First Nations books. Like, we're getting so much variety in terms of the storytelling style that we're getting from our First Nations authors, from what you would consider more traditional narrative picture books to books that are more in the style of the traditional storytelling of our First Nations people. Like, it's just so wonderful. The other really great thing about this book, like a lot of our First Nations books now, is that it is told both in English but also with First Nations languages interspersed within it, which is just my favorite thing ever. Okay, what else from Alan and Unwin? I'm kind of going in age category for each publisher. So they also sent me Smarty Pup 5 by Ando. This one is called Time to Fly. So if you're unfamiliar with this series, this is really gorgeous. It's a kind of junior fiction, early chapter book, young middle fiction kind of story. And we follow Lily and JJ. JJ is a talking dog who, in the first book, you find out how he becomes a talking dog. He's also really incredibly smart. And JJ attends school with his owner, Lily, and he's become part of the class love him, the teacher loves him, and their teacher, Miss Anne, enters the class into this talent show. And in order to get to this talent show, they have to fly there. And JJ is terrified of flying. So this is overcoming your fears, working together as a team, and it's really fun. Like, I love the fact that this series is full color. It just brings it to life so much. I love it. Then there is The Surface Trials by H.M. Moore, who I've read before. This is a middle grade science fiction story. This one is so interesting because it is a competition elimination style story. We have quite a few point of view characters, but one of our main characters is Amethyst, and she comes from a mining colony planet, which is looked down upon by the other planets. It's pretty much like a prison planet. And she is selected to compete in the Surface Trials, which is a 3-day competition where I think about 100 participants enter, and only the top 20 survive and are given the opportunity to enter the Star Quest Academy, which is kind of the most prestigious academy where you can study whatever it is that you like. And Amethyst is determined to be one of the first people from her planet to get into the Star Quest Academy. All of the participants are put into teams. They have to work together, and it is essentially a reality TV show where viewers get to vote on whether or not they like the performance of each of these kids who is entered into this competition. They also know that one of the competitors is the heir to sort of the ruling empire in the galaxy, but that air has been disguised, so no one knows who it is. And altogether, these kids have to survive on an alien planet which has very dangerous megaflora and fauna that is actively trying to kill them. And then the TV show producers and competition runners lose connection with the planet. And so these kids are on their own. So it's very much a survival story, and I had a delightful time with it. It was fun to read a middle grade story set on an alien planet. Like H.M. Moore is known for that. She writes science fiction for middle grade readers, but this one was just a little bit different from her other books, and I really, really enjoyed this one. I also had a young adult title. This one is This Dream Will Devour Us by Emma Clancy, and this is also kind of science fiction fantasy. It kind of straddles the two. We have Nora, who is an everyday student. She lives in a world where people can gain magic by taking these pills, and that gives you the ability to create magic of some kind. Her father was in a car accident, and they couldn't afford to get him treatment by specialists who use this magic, which potentially could have saved his life. And so she's very bitter about this. She's determined to get a scholarship into the college where she can be trained as a magic user, and she can go into the field of medicine and provide that service for people who need it. But she finds herself caught up in this publicity stunt. So there's this thing called the Dream Gala, which is hosted by the brothers who are the heirs to this magic empire. And she doesn't enter into this gala, but is somehow selected anyway. And this happens after her brother is injured and finds himself in hospital. And suddenly she is thrust into the spotlight, and she has to play nice with people that she doesn't really get along with. She has to find allies in places where you can't trust anyone. It is very much a dramatic filled story where Nora doesn't know who she can trust. She doesn't know who's telling the truth. She's trying magic for the first time and finding that she's capable of things that she didn't think she was capable of, and also that maybe her brother wasn't who she thought he was, and that the dream that she has may not necessarily be what she wants to do with the rest of her life, or maybe it is. It's fun, it has magic, it has business politics, it has social politics as well, which is always interesting. And there's a little bit of a romance in here as well. So for a book that I wasn't planning on reading, it was a really fun time. All right, then we have a couple of books from Fremantle Press. The first one being Goodnight Sheep by Sally Barton and Cherie Dignam, which is a book all about bedtime routines. Our main character, Lily, is trying to go to sleep, except all of the sheep are mucking around in her head and doing things that they shouldn't be doing, so she's not sleeping. It's a great book for teaching sleep routines. It's really fun. The illustrations are gorgeous and the sheep are just delightful. It's also a rhyming text, which makes it fun to read out loud. Fremantle Press also sent me Dungzilla by James Foley, which is one of the graphic novels in the Stinker Inc. series. This is the first time I think it's been published in full colour, so it is a full colour graphic novel. We are following Sally Tinker, who loves to design inventions, and this one happens to turn her best friend's pet dung beetle into a giant pet dung beetle because her younger brother accidentally intervenes. And it's a very fun, silly read that's perfect for the age category. They will find this hilarious because it includes disgusting things, and we all know that kids like disgusting things. I hadn't read any of the stories in this series before, so it was really fun and a great chance to try something out. I can't wait to take it into my class because they're going to love this. I think I'm going to lose that book really quickly. And then some recent books that were sent to me by Wild Dog are two picture books. The first one is All the Ways to Pray by Kathleen Kelly and Anne Ryan. So this one, for anyone who is religious or who does pray, like, this is a great one to add to your collection. It's really gentle, it's beautiful. It looks at the different opportunities you have through the day to be thankful and grateful for what you have around you. I can get behind that mission, even if I'm not particularly religious myself. When I read it, what I came away with the message of is just being able to reflect on your day and thinking about all of the wonderful opportunities that you've had and the things that you've been able to make happen. That's a really lovely message. And then the other one they sent me was Noisy Noisy City by Andrew Kelly and Helene Magison. Sorry about the glare, this is a very shiny hardcover. This one is a book that is just all about the sounds that you might hear in a city. It seems to be set in Melbourne because it has our Melbourne trams, which is delightful. And it's a great one if you like onomatopoeia in your books, because literally the book is mostly just sounds. It's what sound does something make? And you have your police cars and your ambulance and your fire truck, but you also have jackhammers and you have trams and you have all sorts of sounds that you might hear as you are traveling around through a city. So it's really great for a really young audience that's just learning to make the connection between those things. And those are my kids review titles for this month. So I will leave links to where you can find more information about them down below. I'd love to know if you've read any of these books or if you're planning on picking any of them up. Otherwise, feel free to leave a book stack emoji to let me know that you're here. I hope that wherever you are in the world, you're staying safe and healthy, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye everyone.